Morning everyone. So the first job of today is actually one of my own installs. So I did this for a customer before Christmas. Actually, I think it was way before Christmas. So there was no backseat here, and they asked me to fit them a new one. Reason for my call here today is they've been having to top up the pressure every day, and they topped up to 1.5 bar this morning, and it's already dropped down. Now I've done a little walk around the system. Well, firstly, I checked the PRV. It's not the PRV. I didn't think it would be because this is pretty much a brand new boiler. Checked the contents to make sure the hex hasn't split. Done a walk around of all the radiators, and let's have a look. So upstairs was all fine, and then we've come into the living room, and the first one that we've seen is weeping just from there. You can see there's a bit of a damp stain here, so at least we found it. Just got to get that repaired. I'm going to see if I can knit that up. If not, I'm going to swap it over for another valve. Right, top up some pressure. I've opened the valves and I've bled it, so I'm just re-topping it back up again. Right, 1.5. Let's, I'll do it from downstairs. Check the radiator first. Okay. Yeah, that's all good now. No more leaks, no more weeps. Lovely.
I got you in anyway, even if it wasn't the boiler.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It, you know?
You wouldn't have noticed it where it was behind the sofa.
No.
Right, second job of the day. We've got a faulty Honeywell wireless stat. So I think since these have been taken over by Residuo, the quality has just gone down the drain. So even by turning the temperature off, there's no flame symbol on there. It's not responding with the receiver. I've had it off and on, tried a few different things. A lot of these are failing, so they've got a twin channel programmer here, so they don't need a wireless programmable room stat. So I'm going to fit them a standard wireless digital room stat because all the programs are done from here anyway. Right, so new center brand wireless thermostat. So let's turn it on. There we go. Waiting for green light. That's motoring over. Click. Boiler has demand. And if I turn this down, to below 15, that should click off. Yep. Zone valve shuts. Job done. That buzzing sound indicates another faulty synchro motor, so just going to swap that one out. So I've got the motorized head off. I've checked the PCB here, there's no burn marks on it, so this looks like quite a new one anyway. So all you've got to do to change this out is really simple. Some of these you'll have two of the wires crimped together, or otherwise on this one you've got one in here, the other blue wire goes into this little connector block, so I've already pulled that out of there. You've got one little screw here, so you just undo that. Do not lose this screw because it's a really tiny screw. I'm quite lucky I've got a bit of space here, but yeah, you don't want to lose that screw. So once that's out of there, watch, I bet you I'm going to lose it now. On this side, it's hooked into there, so all you do is literally just twist that out of that latch, and then that definitely gone because that's still hot. I might have to put my glove on to get it out. I'm gonna try and do it with one hand, so you just twist it, wiggle it, and you're basically trying to get it out of there. The cog sits in there. I'm just trying to free that up. There we go. So that comes out of there. So that sits in there, and that marries up with, you can probably see the little teeth just there behind it. So yes, that's it. So now just make sure that you put the right ones with the right ones, same cable with the same cable. Put it back together, it should stop the buzzing noise. There we go, that's the new one in. So this one connection I've put in a Wago. The other one just goes into there, just pushes in, locks into place. Fit that back on there and make sure that there's no more buzzing sound. So the investigation continues further. The reason why that motor burnt out so quickly is because the spindle is not moving so freely. So what I'm going to do, there's a little circlip on the side of this, so we're going to take that out, pop some WD-40 and some oil in there, push it in and out, get it moving freely. If that sorts it out, then we're good. If not, I'm going to have to change the whole body. Let's hope not, because this is an open vent system and there's 3 ports on the ground floor. Right, if you haven't done one of these before, be very careful. So you can see that circlip there? I've just managed to get it out. That sits in that gap between the spindle and the body, so that stops that spindle from going in. So now what we're going to do, get some machine oil, put it in there. You can tap this in and out to make sure it lubes up, but don't lose it all the way. Pull it back up, pop that circlip back in, and that should be moving a lot more freely. So just spread a bit of WD-40 on there, and this one we just gently tap it in, not too far. Right, now I use this flat jaws, basically just wiggle it around, wiggle it around, wiggle it around, so you're getting that WD-40 lubricating all inside. Then as you're wiggling, pull it up. You can't pull these out completely, so don't worry about that, but you can lose them completely inside, which you don't want to do. So I'm going to do this a few times. Now I've also got that Regan fan oil, which tends to be pretty good as well, so we'll use that as well and make sure this is moving nice and freely, and then pop that circlip back in. You can see that's struggling to get that back out and out at the moment, so it looks like there's a bit of grit inside there. So that's the oil that I used as well. So I popped that in there, tapped it in, pulled it back out, and now that moves nice and freely by hand. No resistance on there. So now I'm going to pop that circlip back in and then put the head back on, and we'll retry it. Right, that's all done. That's moving freely. Spindle is moving nice and freely, so we are good. Let's go on to the next one. Next job is a Volcera Easy Heat Plus. Customers having problems with circulation, so not all the radiators are getting hot. The boiler is cycling on and off, so it comes on, fires up for a few minutes, well not even a few minutes, like a minute or so, and then goes back off again. ERP pump is spinning fine. I can feel that vibrating nicely, so there doesn't seem to be any issues there. I can feel heat sort of going down the flow pipe. The return pipe is warm-ish, but it's not obviously circulating properly. Check the condenser, make sure that wasn't blocked up, make sure that wasn't causing any problems. I was literally on hold to Volcera, and I thought, let me just check the isolation valves. When I've taken that off, that comes off there, but this, look at that, that's just sheared off. So I'm guessing that isolation valve in there is probably snapped, maybe not in a fully open position, but not a fully closed position. So it's allowing some of the heat to get down, but it's obviously causing a restriction and causing the boiler to short cycle, because that, which way does that one turn? So that one obviously clockwise is off, anti-clockwise. That's open. I'm suspecting that isolation valve needs replacing because it's sheared off, and then we can sort of investigate further after that. Next job, up in Wood Green, been called out to an F27. From previous experience, it's usually a PCB, so I brought one with me, but let's have a look to see if there's anything else that might be wrong with it. Right, new PCB's in. You can tell the difference between the old one and the new one because you've got a red transformer here, and you've got more of a yellowy one here, and you've got another little yellow one here, and you've got like a copper one there. So the good thing about these new PCBs on the Valence is that, so I'm moving the camera on because the shadow's obviously behind me. You don't have to unwire anything, you literally everything comes out on the connector plug, so you unplug it, replug it in. One thing you must remember, this cold plug, you have to take it off the old PCB and pop it into the new one. I've learnt that from a personal mistake. You turn it on and it comes up with an error code and this, that, the other, and then you're trying to figure out what it is. And you remember, I think it's the Baxi GA boilers, they also have a cold plug. So whenever you change the PCB, it says in the instructions, who reads the instructions? You know, why do you need instructions to change a PCB? But you never know, it might have some useful information like make sure you keep the cold plug. So right, let's put this back together and turn it on. Alright, boiler's on, demand is on, just waiting for it to do its thing. Alright, let's put some of this other stuff away. I'll sort that in a minute. That's a healthy sound. There we go, fired up, rectified, and we can check that has rectified by going into the live monitor and making sure that we've got status code 04, which is burner on. That means we are all systems go. You all know what that means. Finally got some heat through. Right, this next one, oh, hot at the bottom, nothing at the top. Hopefully that should be a nice simple one. That's what we want to hear. Back at that Volcera with the ISO valve that would sheared off. Just swapped it over. Heating is on and we have circulation. And do you know why? Because my suspicions were correct. That is snapped in the closed position. But whoever had snapped it, they thought they got away with it, and they left that, I think, well, however it was in there, and they basically just left the handle on there looking like that, so it looked like that, like it was on. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. If you fucked up, we all make mistakes, admit to it. It's a £20 pot. Even if it was your fault, it's a £20 pot. You left a customer without heating for what? I think this was before Christmas. All you needed was to change that, and it's all working.